Hello and welcome to coverage of Grand Prix Dallas, Fort Worth. I'm Marshall Sutcliffe in the booth with Hall of Famer Randy Buehler, and we're ready for the finals. We have Shuhei Nakamura playing against Ross Merriam, and Shuhei Nakamura is no stranger to the GP Top 8, Randy, nor the finals. He's actually going for a record here.
Trying to win his 7th lifetime Grand Prix, tying the record
With
just
with
Kai
a couple of
Buda and
schlubs.
Yuya Watanabe.
Oh, jeez. Now, Ross Merriam, on the other hand, does not have a GP title.
He does have turn 3 Managorger Hydra.
Wow. Against Green-White. Now, we know that Shuhei has 2 copies of Suppression Bonds in his deck, plus
Totem Guide
Heartbeast to find them. So he will be able to answer. He does have answers for it at some point. And that point is immediately.
There you go. No need to wait. Let's just get that guy set off to the side.
Ross astutely remembers the trigger. You know, if there is a way to get that Suppression Bonds off of it later.
Just looking.
Conclave Naturalist is the sort of the go-to main deck answer.
Right.
Shuhei presses onward. He's got.
I do not see one of those.
Okay. He's got a solid green-white deck here. And he's got his own Llanowar Empath after the trade for Dwynen's Elite.
Top bottom. Draw a Leaf Gilder.
Not bad.
Sure.
You know, ideally, Shuhei has 2 copies of Rock Smallers in his deck, and next turn would be land Rock Smallers. Looks like we have an Empath.
Draw Fetid Imp.
Also a Thornbow Archer. Not a very good card, although it did actually win him a game against Dan Jordan in the semifinals. He got down to 1. Dan was fully stabilized with 2 creatures, including a lifelinker, and he's just like, Thornbow, I'll attack you, and that was it.
Wow.
All right, Herald of the Pantheon. Looks like no 5th mana here for Shuhei Nakamura, and the Leaf Gilder represents that 5th mana source for next turn.
I don't mind the Thornbow Archer in a dedicated elf deck. Ross has 2 Shaman of the packs in his deck. He can get the aggro elf curve. Now, against Shuhei, the Archer is particularly bad because he's in the Cool Club. Like, Archer checks to see if you're in the Cool Club. Do you have any elves?
Yep.
Oh, you're in the club too?
The
All
Leaf
right.
Gilder. Veteran sidearm there for Ross Merriam is going to make his Llanowar Empath a 3/3 and get it into the red zone. Fetid Imp and an Equip is going to be the follow-up play for Ross Merriam. There's that 5th land for Shuhei, giving him 6 mana available this turn. If he can find something to spend it on. Uh-oh, you see what he has in his hand, Randy?
No. What is it?
So he can't cast it because it costs double white.
Does it involve some arrogance?
It does.
Tragic arrogance?
It could be tragic for Ross if Shuhei finds that 2nd white mana source and is able to fire that thing off. Tragic arrogance in hand for Shuhei Nakamura as this board gets more and more cluttered.
Wonder which creature Shuhei will let him keep.
See, and this is what the combo is, right? He lets him keep the Managorger Hydra, which is locked down.
Perhaps Shuhei will choose that Suppression Bond as his enchantment to keep.
Not the worst option. And here's a little bit more damage here from Ross, but this is walking into the potential for that tragic arrogance. You know, Ross is not going to be aware. I don't think that they've exchanged deck lists, have they?
I don't think so. No, they've just all been sequestered down there in the feature match area.
So a Plains, and there it is off the top for Shuhei Nakamura. Does he just fire it off here? He gets to kill 5 creatures of his opponents. He does lose 3 of his own, though. Oh,
but
there it is.
Yeah. This sets up Rock Maulers attacking into an empty board.
Unreal.
That seems fine. I mean, it's kind of a 4/4. Yeah, it's a 4/4. Sort of.
Ross gets to keep his veteran sidearm as a consolation prize. It's like he's given up on keeping up with that Managorger Hydra, but here we go. Rock Mauler's in there for 4, excuse me. He's going to hit the Renown trigger and become a 6/6. It's got Trample as well.
Crazy.
And it could just close out this game quite quickly if Ross doesn't find a way to get back on board. Take a look at Ross Merriam.
I'm sure Shuhei picked up on the fact that he's not updating the Managorger as a tell that he doesn't have Conclave Naturalist.
Could be.
If you have Conclave Naturalist in your deck, you're going to keep up the Managorger count.
It's true.
Ross has, I think, bled a little bit of information there by not keeping up.
And he's just given up on it there.
Yeah.
But there's the Warhorn and a Yevas Force Mage. It's also going to get equipped here. Whoa! Gaia's Revenge is the follow-up play. Not a bad couple of turns for Shuhei. Yeah, and Ross Merriam says, okay, fine, I've seen enough. And Shuhei Nakamura is
Calm.
1 game away from
Stoic.
GP title number 7.
Just business as usual. Got to warm up for the Pro Tour.
Now, what about Ross Merriam? He's a fixture on the Star City Games Open circuit.
Absolutely.
Correct? Yeah.
Yeah, and he came in. He's got 18 pro points this season coming in, so he's going to be sitting at 24. You know, he's solidly silver and putting himself in position where a good finish in Vancouver could actually get him to gold. And it seems like I've seen a number of people make that Open circuit to Pro Tour transition. It seems like he's one of the good ones for sure. Shuhei, though, one of the best of all time. It was a tough seat for the draft for Shuhei. Blue was tempting.
He
Stuck to his green-white
managed
guns.
to shun it, yeah, and here he is.
A little bit less aggressive than his other decks, but I mean, when you've got Tragic Arrogance, Suppression Bonds, he's able to just maneuver the game state where he's winning not with aggression, but with card advantage.
Yeah.
Empath, Heart Beast.
And fundamentals,
Tragic
right?
Arrogance.
I mean, you look at the cards in Shuhei's deck. He has nothing cute, right? There's no,
Yeah.
oh, but if I get this and this, then something cool. No. All of his things either beat down or get something out of the way or are a combat trick. His deck is very fundamentally solid. Now, Ross has made a deck that's not. It needs a lot of things to kind of go correctly, but it has some weird angles. You know, watching it play, it's like, that's not a very good card. That's not a very good card. That's not a very good card. But all of a sudden, he's doing 6 damage with those not very good cards, and really kind of working those to the best of his ability. And it's really come together for him here as he finds himself in the finals, though he is down a game.
Yeah, I mean, that was a game where he played a rare on turn 3, Mana Gorger Hydra. Shuhei had the answer. He went wide with his elf deck. You know, he's got multiple Shaman of the Packs, multiple Thornbow Archers, but Shuhei had a sweeper. I mean, what are you going to do when you're playing the elf deck and your opponent answers your rare 1 for 1 and then has a sweeper?
You are going to
swarm
lose.
Of elves.
I mean,
the
elves reward you for flooding the
You
board.
have to go wide. You
Yeah.
can't play around the existence of cards like Tragic Arrogance. It's just not a thing that you can do. Players shuffling up. Shuhei 1 game away from history. 7th GP title. I feel like people forget how insane Kai Budo was at his peak. I mean,
I wasn't around. I just look at the numbers and I'm like, holy crap.
The numbers, yeah, no, he was ridiculous.
Like, were people even putting up a fight against this guy? Just ran over everybody.
We were trying.
The German juggernaut, indeed.
Yeah, I mean, when he showed up for the Worlds, that was his first Pro Tour win that essentially got him his first Player of the Year title. He was, that's that guy that won 3 Grand Prix this year. So he wins 3 Grand Prix, then finally shows up on the Pro Tour. But yeah, 7. In addition to the 7 Pro Tour wins, the 7 GP wins. Just the gaudiest numbers in the history of the game.
He still dabbles.
He's going to be in Vancouver. He's in Vancouver right now, holed up at the boot camp with Pantheon.
I love that.
Yeah, me too. It's fun. All right, couple of 2 drops for Shuhei. Dreadbridge Shaman, though. Messenger.
Sylvan Messenger.
Swing and a miss.
And very sadly, his Outland Colossus
now
hits
on the bottom
as well. Yeah, so you can see he's got Mana Gorger Hydra and an Outland Colossus, so you can see some of the upper end punch on Ross Merriam's deck.
Wow, he's not interested in trading Dreadbridge Shaman for Cleric?
Yeah, the Deadbridge is usually a trade, but he has kept it back. That is going to give him enough power to actually block the Rock Smallers potentially here. Also, the Fetid Imp can hold it back. Another spot where enshrouding mist looks great. The list
Sure.
is growing long, by the way.
Sure.
And there's that veteran sidearm again. Not a potent card, but Ross is kind of working it. Gets in there for 4.
I mean, the elf deck naturally has a lot of little dorky creatures lying around. Really wants ways to sort of enhance them, take advantage of the fact that you've got all these.
Yeah, I guess you can't
1/1s
always get
and
the
1/2s
throwing
lying
knife
around.
you wanted.
Right, Nantuko Husk is another way to take advantage of having a bunch of
Yep.
random elves lying around.
All right, there's Dwynen's Elite, and since he has a Leaf Gilder there, he's going to be able to make the 1/1 Elf Warrior as well. And Shuhei's going to attack. He's willing to make either of these trades, and the Fetid Imp really can't block here because it's the only thing holding back the Rock Smallers.
Mm-hmm. Now the Imp goes on back on offense. 'Cause
Another
there's two
Fetid
more where
Imp
that one
and
came
another
from.
Fetid Imp. I like this deck now. He really could have used the throwing knife though instead of the sidearm because making those into 3-powered flyers and just beating down is great. And then of course you get the option of sometimes throwing it at something.
Sigil's also a lot better than.
Right. Yeah. Especially in this deck, right?
Right,
Just
right,
a bunch
right.
of small creatures. Totally. Yeah, it is holding him back a bit here. He's just not able to apply real pressure to Shuhei. But it's not every day you get Shuhei in the tank like this. He plays very quickly.
True story.
Let's see what he's got this turn. Amprin, Tactician, and a Rumble with the team outside of the Maulers. So that's going to give all of his creatures +1/+1 until end of turn. So 2 3/3s and a 2/2 hitting the red zone here. And Shuhei's fine, hey, let's trade off for some of these imps. I guess he only has 1 black mana available to trade if he wanted anyway. Wow, he's going to take 8 here?
Jeez.
I guess Shuhei's probably pretty happy with that.
Sure.
I wonder why Ross did that. I'm surprised he didn't trade off just one of the Fetid Imps. I mean, he's got such a glut of them on the board anyway. Shuhei's at 15. It feels like those aren't going to be the way that he's going to be able to beat down and win.
Maybe he's got like a Shaman of the Pack or something. He's trying to race, and he thinks, he's got 4 power worth of flying offense right
But
here.
now he's not attacking with them. So there's
Right,
the
he does
Shaman
have
of the
the
Pack
Shaman.
for 2.
And it only nugs for 2.
Yeah.
Fetid Imps aren't elves.
They are not.
And Ross is Hellbent?
He is Hellbent, but you can see where he was going with it. Now he's got a 2/3 Fetid Imp and another Fetid Imp that he can activate. So the 2/3 holds off the 2/2s, and the the one that can get Death Touch holds off the Rock Smallers. So he is precariously stabilized here. Shuhei looking to close out here. He must have a heck of a trophy room at home. Ross would like to stand in his way, prevent a little history from happening here. Start in his own trophy room. I'm sure he's got plenty. He's playing very carefully here. This is a pretty cluttered board. And
Turn 'em
Shuhei Nakamura
sideways.
says, you know what?
Everything but the elf token.
So the Fetid Imp that doesn't have the equipment on it is going to block the Maulers. It's been threatening to do that the whole time.
Sure. Dreadbridge Shaman wants to trade with Tactician.
Remember, Ross is at 8. Even with this attack and the block, the Mauler still gets through for 2 as well. And if Shuhei has any combat tricks, it could get even worse.
Those are my blocks.
Okay, he's going to block like that.
Taking the Cleric.
And he's now
Not
tapped
blocking
out
with the Shaman.
and has no cards in hand. So
Taking
Shuhei gets to do
4
whatever
here.
he wants here.
Titanic Growth would just be lethal, right?
It would be 4. That would be 8. He would take 7. Yes. He's got it, right?
Yeah, he's trampling for 2, right?
Right now he is. That would be 6
And the
plus
cleric.
2.
2 plus 2 plus 4 looks like 8. Is that Shuhei Nakamura winning his 7th Grand Prix?
That's
it
it.
is!
Shuhei Nakamura is our champion here in Dallas, and that's going to do it. Number 7 for the Hall of Famer for Japan. And a little bit of a smile.
There we go.
There we go. There you go, Shuhei. Let it fly, buddy.